Hello everyone, myself Kruti Vyas, and today I am going to present my topic on the green light on the Emerald Estate, commodity fetishism and the parasitic Gothic, comparative media studies between the Great Gatsby and the Solburn. This is my presentation details and academic details. This is my table of content which I will discuss today. So first, to begins, let's look at our two major texts. First, F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, 1950 novel set in Jazz Age, and where Jay Gatsby tries to buy his way into American dream and old money. On other side, Emerald Fennell's the 2023 film Saltburn, set in England, and here Oliver Quick is an outsider and invited into a vast Gothic estate. And while Gatsby wanted to belong to the systems, and specifically Oliver wants to consume it. Here is my research question: that how do F. Scott Fitzgerald, The Great Gatsby, and the Emerald Fennell Saltburn use the figure of class, outsider, and unreliable narrator to critique the myth of social mobility, commodity fetishism, and the moral corruption of inherited wealth? And my hypothesis is that both The Great Gatsby and the Saltburn argues that class aspiration under capitalism is structurally self-defeating, and the outsider who seeks assimilations like Gatsby is destroyed by the system, while the outsider who seeks to subvert it like Oliver Quick must become the very thing he despises, and revealing that the myth of meritocracy conceals a parasitic logic at the heart of old money culture. My master argument is that while Jay Gatsby attempts to buy his way into the elite through the myth of the American dream, on other side, Oliver Quick recognizes the dream is a lie and chooses to consume the elite instead. So both works specifically deploy an unreliable first-person narrator to expose the moral decay of old money and toxic nature of class envy. And to break this down, we will look at these four pillars of analysis. First pillar is the gaze and the surveillance. The second pillar is the estate as a Gothic space. The third one is the unreliable narrator, and the last and fourth one is the romanticism to the parasite. So let's start with pillar one, gaze and surveillance. So in the Gatsby, the faded eyes of T.J. Ecklebuck represent godless and moral judgment over the materialistic society, while Nick watch as a complicit observer, and the other side Saltburn, the estate is a mirror of mirrors and window, and everyone is watching, but Oliver weaponized this gaze and using Lacan's mirror stage perform to a fake self that manipulate his audience as well. And the next pillar is the estate as a Gothic space. So it examines the specifically environment. So how Gatsby's mansion is purely a fake normal hotel, and between his world and old money lies the value of asses and all those things. But in other side, we can see how Saltburn is however, is a living museum, and it is itself Gothic itself. So and it absorbs Oliver organically. So he eventually absorbs it, and it's tried. And as you can see here, in the visual contrast between two estates, both here represent specifically aesthetic of extreme excess and masking the road underneath. Third one is the unreliable narrator. So it majorly focus on our narrators. So here we have two narrators. First Nick Carraway, and other is Oliver Quick. So Nick Carraway is an invited outsider to judge the elite, but stay complicit, and he edits the romanticize his memories out of the regrets. And on other side, Oliver Quick engineering his own invitations, and he has no moral any limits, and his observation turn into specifically elimination. But his narration is not regretful. It's a retrospective victory lab built on suppressed truth. Last pillar is from romanticism to the parasite. So it tracks majorly the evolution of the outsider. So the one side Gatsby is the romantic, and he believe in green light and get a better future. But ultimately, Oliver becomes and realizing that the system is rich, and he abandoned the dream to destroy the present and consume the host. And the wow factor is party as a spectacle. So let's look how both texts use parties. And Gatsby's party are amusement park like, and a spectacle without intimacy where he watches from the margins. But on other side, Soldman's parties is specifically highlights by ironic murder on the dance floor. Are Oliver's personal theater and used to engineer destruction the horde. So, in short, the both parties' performance of for their belongings and end up excluding or destroying the hordes. And finally, our analysis is grounded in four framework. First, Lacan's mirror stage for identity performance, and Marx commodity fetishism for class conflict, and post-parasitic Gothic for decaying estate, and theory of unreliable narration to show how our sympathy is manipulated. And this is the conclusion. So in short, the dreams, their both dreams are devoured, and Gatsby's romanticized and Oliver strategized, both are destroyed or triumphed by the same lie. And here is my learning outcome, which I have learned throughout my presentation. These are the references. Thank you. Please, questions are welcome.
So, Kruti, my question is to you. While the green light represents a distinct hope for Gatsby, what serves as the green light for Oliver in Saltburn, and how does its mean shifts as he gains control of the estate?
Thank you, Radhika, for your question. So my answer is that Gatsby's light is some kind of distance, and it told about unattainable hope for the past. But in Saltburn, we can see how the estate is itself a light, and it shifts from the symbol of longing to a trophy of conquest. And as Oliver moves from watching to in the movie to owning to the greenery. So yeah, this is my answer. Next one.
My question is, does the comparison suggest that Gatsby's failure and Oliver's success are due to different method or fetishizing the wealth, or simply because one of a romantic and the other is predator?
Yes, thank you for your question. So Gatsby fails because his romantic fetishism, because he treats wealth as a dream to win Daisy, but Oliver succeed through his predatory fetishism, because he treated wealth as a host to consume. So ultimately, as we know that the dreamers always is crushed by the elite, and while the other side parasite is always replace them. Yeah, so that is all from my side. Thank you.